My guest today is Micah Hanks, editor-in-chief of the Debrief, where he covers science, technology, and futurism.
If I were E.T., the last thing I want to do is drop down on the White House lawn and say, hi, okay guys, we're not alone, so what do we do now?
Shouldn't this information be public? And let me clarify that.
Sure.
Just recently, within the last couple of days, it was announced by the Pentagon through the Black Vault and John Greenwald that all UAP videos in possession of the United States Navy are classified and will not be made public. If something is visiting us from interstellar space to this planet, shouldn't that be public knowledge, and shouldn't we have access to that?
To your immediate question, I would think so, yeah. But this brings us back to that debate about disclosure. It's not that, for instance, I think that disclosure shouldn't happen, but I try to always be practical about this. Is it likely that our government is going to tell us everything that it knows, everything that it has learned, everything that we, the people, feel like we should know about this phenomenon? I just don't think that's very realistic. And again, you couldn't bring up a better point. When John got this response to this FOIA the other day, what it's talking about is, again, he was appealing for all of these government videos, any videos
that has UAP, right? Yeah.
And they come back and they say, listen, if we release these videos, it will be harmful to the national security interest of the United States because of the information that will be conveyed with those videos. The information, the systems, of course, how they operate, what kind of data they collect and how they collect it. Our enemies can't have that information. But again, fundamentally, Jimmy, at the end of the day, does the public have a right to know? As far as I'm concerned, if these things are from outer space, and we don't know, but if some UAP do represent some kind of a technological advancement, either here from Earth or from someplace else with exotic origins, we do have a right to know about that.
We do have a right to know. And it also contradicts the ODNI report from August of last year, which clearly stated it's not China, it's not Russia, and it's not us. That was in the report. So if that's the case, how can you do a blanket classification, security classification on all UAP videos that it's a national security risk? They're saying and speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
Well, on the one hand, of course, what they're saying is they want to use the technologies that might, obtain evidence of UAP. They want to protect that, and they don't want China and Russia to see, sensitive information that those videos might contain. So it's more about protecting that from foreign adversaries. But you're right. In the ODNI report, they also say that based on what we have observed, there doesn't seem to be any kind of indication that the more exotic-like technologies, the stranger phenomena that we would group in the UAP category, we haven't seen any indication that this actually might be from Russia or from China, that they have seen such a significant technological advancement that would place them maybe decades ahead of the United States. We haven't seen evidence of that.
Well, here's the point. If we go back to 1952, 1953, Los Alamos, and Enrico Fermi talking with his friends over lunch saying, okay, there must be so much life out there in the universe. And where is everybody, if that's the case? Well, is that what's going on today? Do you think, let me ask you, Josh, do you think the everybody is here with all of these sightings and the UAP confirmation that is going on in the skies? Is that Fermi's paradox of his paradox, that we are being visited and they are here?
I think the evidence is overwhelming that some sort of intelligent life is visiting us. Yes, I do think that. So as for Fermi's paradox, I would say we're past that. The evidence is here.
Exactly. So is Fermi's paradox actually a paradox now, in that this is confirmation of something going on in the skies? And could it be that these extraterrestrial civilizations, these advanced civilizations, are doing what they should be doing, what we are doing? We're looking at the stars. We're trying to find life. If they're advanced and they're out there building probes and moving across the Milky Way, that they found us and they're just checking us out. What's wrong with that?
Nothing in principle. We got to give props to Enrico Fermi, the guy who we can credit for building the first nuclear reactor. His paradox was essentially this. Mathematically, the universe should be teeming with life. I mean, there should be life from one corner to the next. And yet, with all the probability that life exists, we have found no evidence of it.